Tas, eto, lagi niya tong pinagmamalaki na ako daw yung unang nag-I love you sa kanya, madam.
Imagine ko.
Lagi niyang sinasabi nung ikaw nga yung unang nag-I love you sa akin eh. Ganun.
So, nauna ka nga ba?
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Camp Confidence Radio.
Hello mga madams! It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas and we think that this is the perfect time to share our relationship tips based on our successful and also failed attempts at romance.
So today, mga madam, we're going to share with you how I met Josh and Ayn is going to share how she got together with Ako Bahala Guy.
Yes! Alam niyo yan. Actually, I don't think we've ever talked about this on the podcast. Yung love story of meeting, ganyan. But anyway, before that, here's a reminder to everyone that we shouldn't let anything get in the way of expressing our love to the ones that matter to us. Especially if it's something that we can work on. Kung takot kayo mga madam, lumapit kasi may bad breath ka. Easy peasy, use closeup. It has antibacterial zinc that fights bacteria causing bad breath to give you all-day freshness for up to 12 hours with regular use.
Kasi mga madam, there's nothing more helpful with boosting your confidence than knowing that you have fresh breath all day.
Lalo na syempre, di ba, pag mga crush, di ba?
Totoo. Oh my gosh. It's been a while since, alam mo yung super kilig. Iba kasing level yung kilig ng kapag crush mo pa lang siya eh, di ba? Compared to yung kapag you got together or eto na, kasal na. Ibang level. Parang isa sa mga favorites ko, madam, yung kilig nung crush mo pa siya. Ganon.
So, paano yung kilig nung crush mo pa lang si Josh at hindi mo pa siya asawa?
Ganon. Ganon.
So,
diba?
ano ba yung story doon, madam? Like, how did you meet Josh?
Well, kami kasi talaga ni Josh, matagal na kaming magkakilala. Magka-church kami. So, parang high school pa lang, magkakilala na kami. Pero, life happened, college happened, tapos nag-work na, ganyan. So, parang matagal na kaming hindi nagkausap, alam mo yun. Pero way back, nung first time namin mag-meet, as in wala talaga. Parang, wala. Pero nung recently, sabi niya sa akin, crush na daw talaga niya ako before. Ganon. Tapos parang ako medyo may konting crush din ako sa kanya. Pero hindi na namin napag-usapan yun at all. Nung unang time. Tapos, Rizza working era na. Working girl era na ako. Kakabalik ko lang nun from Doha. Tapos I realized na magkatapat pala kami ng office building. So parang na-excite ako na parang, si Josh, magkatapat lang pala tayo. Pero yun talaga, as in, zero mali siya, zero anything. Parang hindi ko rin siya crush nung time na yun. Parang alam mo yung, since nga excited ako, galing akong ibang bansa, makakita ng ibang friends, ganun. So,
yes.
minessage ko siya. Sabi ko, magkatapat lang pala tayo ng office building, lunch tayo. So, ako talaga, as in, I swear on bagnet. Wala talaga, as in zero, bagnet my dog. Ayun, zero mali siya talaga siya. Tapos parang, nung nagkita na kami ulit, parang, matalino siya. funny siya. Funny guy, ganon. And cute pa rin siya. Sabi ko, cute pa rin siya ngayon. Tapos parang hanggang sa nag-click na kami, ganon. And it wasn't an ideal relationship back then. Parang napag-usapan natin to before, way back. Ibang episode siya, madam.
In another episode.
Pero ayun nga. Yes. It wasn't an ideal setup. Pero, yun nga, sobrang nag-click kami. Sobrang, as in, tawang-tawa ako ako talaga, very impressed talaga ako sa guy na matalino at funny. Parang, okay, fine, looks, pero medyo secondary siya for me. Yung brain talaga ang importante sa akin. That meron kaming, he can hold a conversation, mga ganon. Eto,
So, kamusta yung
ayun,
conversations nyo?
as in parang, meron kasing mga guys na ako yung, as an introvert, di ba? Parang hindi naman ako masyadong nagsasalita. Pero may guys na, oh my gosh, sobrang pogi, sobrang cute, mayaman, ganyan, maganda katawan. Pero, sobrang boring kausap. Ewan ko, I'm not that kind of girl. Ayun. So, kami ni Josh, as in sobrang nag-click kami. Pareho kami ng mga pananaw sa buhay, yung mga values with family, with business, ganyan. Siya yung nagbudol sa akin maging entrepreneur ako, ganon. So, and he pushes me to my limits in a good way. Yun yung
So, ano yung
favorite.
naging move mo, madam? Nung crush stage pa lang. Ano yung move in order to like really parang get to the next stage, especially get closer with your crush then, husband now?
Oo nga. Ako, ano ba, kasi nung time na yun, sobrang nagko-confide na rin kami sa isa't isa. Tas, eto, lagi niya tong pinagmamalaki na ako daw yung unang nag-I love you sa kanya, madam.
Imagine ko.
Lagi niyang sinasabi nung ikaw nga yung unang nag-I love you sa akin eh, ganun.
So, nauna ka nga ba?
Ako nga talaga yung una. Binalik-balikan ko siya. Tapos parang, oh my God, ako nga talaga yung unang nag-I love you. And parang nung time na yun, okay lang, ganon. Kasi nga, anong tawag dito? When you meet someone na feeling mong yun na talaga, parang bahala na. Ganon. Bahala na kung anong mangyari. Yun nga, again, it wasn't ideal, but I'll never know if I won't, alam mo yun, do the first move.
True.
Ganyan. And
Totoo.
right now, it's definitely okay. We all have the freedom to express our emotions, to express our gratitude, our love, ganyan. So, ito ang actually gist ng pag-uusapan natin ngayon na it's okay to be confident, to pursue a relationship, to confidently talk to your crush. Alam mo yon. Later, magbibigay din kami ng tips.
Yes, bilang successful na yarn. Charot. Once I have a ring on my finger, I'll call it successful. Charot. Pero I'm in a really, really happy relationship, which I don't think I've ever had that kind of stability. I mean, remember when we started, when we started recording, single pa ako nun eh. So,
Yes.
I think the madamhood have seen me evolve as a relationship girly. So, pero kukwento ko na rin, I guess, yung how I met Ako Bahala Guy. Because it was it's always a fun story to tell, actually. Kasi, I met him on a dating app during the pandemic. So, you can just imagine. I've been single, madam, for almost 4 years at that point. And hindi talaga ako makakommit. Hindi rin ako makahanap ng like partner. Parang there was always something getting in the way. Distance. Hindi same ng values. Hindi kami on the same page. There was always something with all of the people that I would meet. Tas parang it would just never work out. But then, with Ako Bahala Guy, so Ako Bahala Guy, by the way, I call him Ako Bahala Guy because on TikTok, yun na yung naging nickname niya. Kasi, may time, nag-story time ako. Tapos, kinuwento ko na kinilig ako. Sabi niya kasi, ako bahala. Kasi gusto ko ng cheese. Oo, sa Korean barbecue. Nagkumain kami ng Korean barbecue. Sabi ko, parang gusto ko ng cheese. Sabi sa akin, ako bahala. So, kinilig naman ako sa, ako bahala. So, di ba,
Hindi ko
small
kailangan
things?
maging responsable.
It's like, what? You're gonna take care of me? Stop it. Well, as a Virgo na ate, like, parang that's very attractive to me. But anyway, that's why I call him Ako Bahala Guy. Anyway, so going back to how we met on a dating app during the pandemic. So, syempre, very, tayo on social distancing. We really needed to keep our distance. But at the same time, it was like, come on. At that point, I was turning 28 or turning 27. Sabi ko, ayoko na i-pause yung dating life ko kasi, guys, ayoko na. Like, ayoko maghintay ng 2 years until matapos to, diba? So, I would talk to people online, pero it really took some time for me to agree to dates kasi I want to make sure na this person, okay, is a good guy. This person is somebody that I think I will be happy to meet in real life. So, talagang I would take my time to talk to these people. And with Ako Bahala Guy, he was actually like the second guy I was talking to during the pandemic. And then, parang, it really took so long before I made the first move of like talking to him, ganyan. Kasi madam, nakwento ko ba na we matched 3 times in the last 3 years?
Ooh.
Yes. 3 times in the last 3 years, pero never ko siya kinausap. Dun sa 3 years na yon. As in, magmamatch lang kami, tapos wala akong gagawin about it. Kasi
Wala
I was
lang.
like, wala lang. Wala lang. Maganda lang. Magmamaganda lang siya.
Totoo.
Tapos parang,
Nag-match lang kami.
yun nga, I would always see this guy. I would always see him. And we would always match. But I would never do anything about it. And the thing is, I would delete my account and then I'd bring it back up again. So, we kept matching. Kasi nga, lagi akong nagde-delete tapos gumagawa ulit na account. So, anyway, after nun, sabi ko nung finally, during the pandemic, sabi ko, you know what? I'll just do it. I'll just talk to him. And then, when we were talking, sabi ko, why did it take me so long to reach out to this guy? Kasi, like, yun nga, what you said earlier, he needs to be a good conversationalist. And Ako Bahala Guy and I, like, super easy nung conversation. Ang bilis ng flow ng conversation. Tapos parang hindi ako nag-e-effort na ako na lang lagi nagtatanong, ako na lang, para ako yung mas interested. With him, it kind of felt like, okay, like, this is mutual. I'm not the only one making an effort, and it's very easy, it's fun. So sabi ko, paano kaya kung maaga-aga ako ginanahan mag-make ng movie, you know? Like, maybe I could have saved myself some time. But okay lang rin kasi I think it all worked out in the end. Pero, ayun, ang first date namin, we went out on a socially distanced run. So, tumakbo kami sa BGC. Tapos, wala lang, naalala ko lang na, you know, this, parang in the first place, there's already this kaba and excitement when you meet somebody for the first time. But imagine, madam, pandemic. So, sanay ka, nakamask ka the whole time. Like, you're always wearing your mask. Tapos, you're not used to being close to other people. So, syempre, parang ang tagal namin na talagang, like, from afar. Ano ba yun? We were talking on the phone, ganyan. So finally, when it came to the point na, okay, like a few months down, madam, it took so long. Alam mo yan. It took so long. A few months down the road. And then finally, we decided that we would be exclusively dating. Tapos boyfriend-girlfriend na kami. And then, that's when it was like, we got even closer. And like, parang, mas ano lang, we continue to get to know each other better. And it's just nice. Kasi parang, ang nakikita ko na what it's like to have to have your efforts actually be of use and hindi siya nasasayang.
And reciprocated.
Yes, reciprocated. Talaga yung energy mo. And sabi niya pala, madam, so, syempre, di ba, distance kami, malayo kami nakikita. Pero, when we first saw each other, kasi I came from a restaurant, sinundo niya ako. And then he was like, sabi niya, the first thing he noticed was my smile. Because I was about to put my mask on. Pero nakita niya yung smile ko. So I was like, and then I put my mask on. And then I was like, boom, I got you. Wala ka nang kawala.
Oo nga, walang kawala. Ano, ang mga alindog ng ngiti at dimples at teeth. Charot.
Yes, it's the smile. You're gone. But anyway,
I
so
have
yun yung
you
story.
in my,
My claws.
I love
Charot.
it. I love it. Kasi diba, parang may taboo na parang, oh, you should do the next move kasi nga, babae ka, ganyan. Pero ngayon talaga, diba, equality ang gusto nating mangyari. So, eto na. Yun nga, tips naman, madam. I think we have to talk to our madamhood. Tell them tips on how we can confidently talk to your crush or maybe pursue a healthy and mature relationship. Ayan. So, ano ba? Let's give tips.
Ito
Meron ka
yung
ba
mga
dyan, madam?
things na we wish we knew when we were younger. Kasi parang, I don't know, when I was growing up, ang dami kong di alam gawin. I don't know how to pursue a guy, a relationship in general. Like parang, I was just never taught that, you know? We were always just taught na, oh, you just wait, you smile, you just
Yes.
reciprocate, but you don't get to make moves. Pero guys, pwede niyo yan gawin, especially ngayong Christmas, especially with all the events and the holidays coming up. This is what we
Ginox.
want you guys to understand. Na you can take advantage of these opportunities to get closer or to just get to know your crush. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't have to be you just impressing them. It's also them impressing you, diba?
Totoo yan.
I think just to set the record straight, anyone can make the first move. The number one tip is that whoever you are, you can make the first move. That's it.
Yes, totoo. Tsaka I also feel like in relationships or kapag magsa-start ka ng relationship, it doesn't always have to be a man's job. Na parang, okay, responsibilidad mo, na alagaan ako. Parang I think it should be balanced. Na parang, kasi 'di ba parang ngayon, okay, sige, yung whole issue of who pays on the first date, mga ganyan. It's a whole new different topic, po. Pero ayun nga, I think it should be a two-way relationship. It should be alam mo yun, pareho kayong, you have the same energy, you reciprocate both efforts, ganyan. And sa relationship naman, mapag-uusapan nyo na, what's your love language, ganyan. So, kailangan pareho ng effort. Especially if may mga madam tayong may asawa na. Kasi, di ba usually, nagme-marriage advice si ate girl. Okay. So, I feel like it doesn't have to be difficult all the time. Kasi it's also one of your responsibilities as married people. Na yun nga. Pareho nyong i-satisfy, kumbaga, in all levels, yung isa't isa. Ganyan.
Yeah. It takes a lot of work, but it doesn't have to be difficult. Because it needs to feel, I don't know, like parang for me, what I realized in my healthier relationship, parang, di naman pala kailangan yung sobrang hirap. It's just natural because it's so innate for you to want the best for your partner, and at the same time, it's innate for them. Hindi mo sila kailangan pilitin to want to reciprocate and take care of you just because that's how they are. That's how they are. That's how they appreciate and love you, and that's the same way you feel about them. So ayun. But going back to like the earlier stages of the relationship. Okay, what if hindi pa kayo? Crush pa lang, and okay, this is somebody you want to get to know. Hindi mo pa siya gusto, na forever your partner, but you do want to get to know them. You want to get to know them. So, I think, isa sa mga techniques. Wow! As an extrovert.
Eto na.
As an extrovert, really do not be shy and approach them during social gatherings. Kasi, lalo na ngayon, ang hirap ng pandemic as an extrovert, hindi ako wala akong ma-move because, you're just at home, you don't see other people. But now that the world is opening up and we have social gatherings again, it's just so nice to be able to break the ice and see your chemistry in real life. And that's something na you have to really make the most out of. Kasi minsan sa tingin natin, okay, sa picture, okay siya, ganyan. Pero you won't really know until you have that interaction in real life. And so, I hope that you can take that route, even at a friendship base, na say hi, talk to them, be confident, have that great posture, have that happy smile, para you can really just be able to get to know them without feeling the pressure na you need to impress. Just talk to them. Ano yung mga
Totoo.
conversation starters mo, madam? Like when you talk to people,
Oh my God, hindi ko na
I guess,
maalala.
as an introvert, like, what are your conversation starters pagka nasa ganito kang sitwasyon?
Gosh, nakakaloka. Oh my gosh, I was caught off guard. Kasi I was about to share yung techniques ko naman as an introvert before leading into social gatherings. Kasi I was about to say na,
Oh!
kasi sa'yo, madam, super dali eh. As an extrovert, parang, okay, crush ko to, sige, kakausapin kita. Pero ako kasi, I can't do it. So, ang
Okay.
tip ko for introvert madams, yun talaga. For introvert madams, before kayo mag-meet, as in mag-message na kayo online. Parang, magparamdam-paramdam ka sa stories. Ano mo yung kahit hindi ka nagre-react, may kita ka naman nila na view mo yung stories nila, di ba? Tapos, parang, oh, hi, oh, nice. Talagang parang tapos after kapag, usually naman, kapag mga ganyan, hindi ako nahihiyang mag-message. Kasi nga, as an introvert girl, medyo meron akong lakas ng loob kapag online lang. So, I message them, I appreciate them, ganyan. Tapos hanggang sa, kapag mag-meet na kami, eto na, kunwari, Christmas party ng isang social event, ganyan. So, yun na. So, parang kapag nagkausap na kayo online, parang meron na kayong babalikang conversation pag na in-approach mo na siya sa social gathering na yon. So, for me, it's more of priming it before kayo magkita sa social gathering. So, sa social gathering, parang pag-uusapan nyo na yung mga previous topics nyo, na parang, oh, what's your favorite restaurant? Or, anong favorite mong, usually yung mga conversation starters, at doon ko nasusukat kung click ba kami. Ano ang Netflix, anong mga pinapanood mo ngayon sa Netflix? Or, anong favorite movie mo? Mga ganyan, medyo ano pa siya, mababaw. Pero yon, you just have to, ewan ko, as an introvert, ganun ako. Parang kailangan ma-prime ko muna yung relationship natin online before I meet you in person, ganun. Kasi ayoko magsayang ng energy at oras.
Yeah, buti nga, madam, meron ang social media to do that. Because that is a really good way to go about it. Pero what if you see somebody for the first time, like, dun mo siya ma-meet sa social gathering, anong gagawin mo? Wala.
Wala. Pero I think the old Rizza would just be a wallflower. I've always been a wallflower ever since. Pero now, I think na medyo kebs to the world na talaga ako, na parang I realize na tao lang din naman sila, at baka mamaya iniisip lang nila na kailangan ko rin silang i-approach, or baka introvert din sila. So, ako, hi, hello, where are you from? Mga ganon. Yun lang. And then, I just let the conversation glide, I guess. Ayun.
Yeah. I think
Kasi, personally,
that's
kasi
fair.
hindi ko siya na-experience eh. Ever. Kaya siguro wala akong ma-share. Siguro ikaw, how about you? Conversation starters, madam.
O sige, sa mga madams natin who need a little push with conversations and like introducing yourself, ito yung mga ginagawa ko. Kasi as you know, ang hilig kong mag-backpack, ang hilig kong mag-travel. I like going to like events and stuff. But at the same time, I love making new friends. So it doesn't have to apply to just your crush, but just in general, networking, making connections. Pero kung crush nyo na rin, +1 na rin yan. Isama nyo na yan dito.
Oo,
But for
laban
me,
na.
the number one thing that I do is, for example, you're in a social gathering that is hosted by a mutual friend. If you have a mutual friend, or you know na, okay, like we were brought together by this like mutual thing, like whether it's an office gathering or whatever, you can ask them, hey, so how are you related to blah blah? Halimbawa, how are you related to Riza? Or how do you know Riza? Ganon. That's always like a good line to start with. Like, how do you know Riza? You work with her kasi, ako naman kasi I do this, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. Oh, di ba? Biglang sa segue ka na, sorry, I didn't get your name. What's your name again? Ganon. Tapos, yan. Tapos parang, okay, so you know their name na, blah, blah, blah. And then you can continue that conversation. Tapos parang medyo mag-gauge mo na from there kung okay ba yung vibes, or they interested or they not interested. Ako, ang ano ko, madam, my rule is, if I feel they're not interested, bye. Hindi ko talaga
Okay na,
pipilitin.
bye.
Yeah, kasi,
Totoo.
as important as their time is, your time is also important. And you need to
Exactly.
feel like whoever you're talking to, whether it's on a friendship level or a crush level, they at least need to be paying attention to you. No matter who they are. Kahit gaano pa yan kasikat, kahit gaano pa yan kapogi, kaganda, tao lang tayo, like what you said earlier.
Totoo.
And
Totoo.
I think to add to that, it's also important to look confident on the outside because that really affects how we interact with people. Kasi pag ako, halimbawa, if I don't feel great about my outfit, halimbawa, meron akong inaayos na zipper, or nasisikapan ako sa pants ko, like, I will really feel like I can't talk to people because I'm always conscious about that one thing. So, lagi, before I even go to events, I'm always, okay, I need to take care of everything. Like, okay, if I'm gonna wear pants, I'm gonna make sure na makakahinga ako even after the buffet. Because that will really affect
Totoo.
how I carry myself, how I sit, how I stand, how I walk. And then, syempre, you always need fresh breath, guys.
Totoo.
Like, the
Friends.
worst, the worst talaga, madam, is like when you wanna talk to someone and then you're conscious about like, ayoko masyado lumapit kasi baka maamoy niya. Ayoko talaga ng ganong feeling. So, you need to brush your teeth before you head out.
Totoo.
Do not forget
Oral
it.
hygiene.
Oral
hygiene, my
hygiene.
friends. Yan. Ako, I'm, syempre, of course, toothbrush and, cleaning talaga. Floss. Flossing. I make sure I have mints in my bag. Kasi minsan ngayon, especially kapag kunwari, may mga events na talaga na almost medyo magkalapit, 'di ba? Like, for example, in a restaurant or a club na maingay, ganyan.
Oh
Parang
my
talagang
gosh, clubs.
magdidikitan kayo. Magdidikitan ng mukha. So, parang ang jahe naman, di ba? Parang kahit hindi na crush kahit kunwari friend or
Kahit
business,
sino.
potential business partner. Alam mo yun? Parang, di ba? Parang ako din, I have to echo your thoughts on that, madam, na kailangan confident looking, the way I smell, oh my gosh. Even perfume, pinag-iisipan ko yan. Kahit dalawa lang naman ang choice ko sa perfume. Dapat, meron akong pang day perfume, meron akong pang night perfume. Kasi maaalala nila yan. Na parang, si Rizza yung mabango, ganon. So, si Ayin yung mabango. I love her perfume, ganon. Kasi naaalala talaga nila yun. Apparently, I had this guy na yung ex ko before, talagang specific siya sa, ay, favorite ko tong perfume mo na to. Ganon. So, ako kasi, meron din ako mga taong I associate people with how they smell, how they look, ganon. So, make sure you get that first impression.
Yeah. And on the other hand, like more than just like smelling good, bad impressions also last. So if you have bad breath the first time you meet someone, that sticks. Like that really sticks. So make sure, guys, now when you go out, when you get ready for all of these gatherings, go brush your teeth, use close-up para
Use close
pwede
up.
kayo to get closer this Christmas. Oh, ang dami talaga. Exciting. So anyway, next tip on top of that, like, okay, let's say nakita na kayo in person. You've had that
Okay.
conversation. What do you do next? Mga technique.
Okay, so eto na nga, 'di ba? 'Di ba nagkita na kayo in person. So yung introvert ay na-prime na sa umpisa, then you finally met. You finally met sa gathering, and then what's next? Who
You follow
texts
up.
first? Oo, who texts first? 'Di ba parang dati, parang hindi, suplada ako, hayaan ko siyang mag-text. Bahala na. So, umabot na mga 3 months, wala pa. So, ako, pag mga ganon, wala, kebs to the world pa rin. I message na parang, nice to meet you last night, or mga ganyan. It was a great conversation, blah, blah, blah. Tapos usually naman, tama ka, madam, if mafe-feel mo yung vibe na, mukhang okay to, mukhang okay yung, etong crush na to. magfo-flow lang talaga yung conversation, trust me. Parang hindi mo kailangan mag-effort, di mo kailangang magpapansin, ganun. Kasi, again, ako I message after. Sabi kasi nila wag, pero kebs. Kung ayaw niya, edi wag. Edi kung gusto, edi okay, ganun. Para
Do
wala na
you
masyadong hulaan, ganun.
do you overthink that, madam? Like parang, oh, am I gonna follow them? Am I gonna... Inisip mo ba yun?
Ako, hindi. Parang
Go
wala atang
lang.
space sa utak ko yun. Ganun. Kung ano lang yung gusto kong gawin, go. Hindi ko siya
Yeah.
masyadong in-overthink. Like, ano kaya yung sasabihin ko? Does he think na I'm too easy? Wala. Walang ganun. Kung ano lang yung
Yeah.
gusto kong sabihin. Kebs.
What about for like social interactions, like with people you meet? Like
Okay. Sa mga networking
professionally. Oo.
events, professionally, I don't shy away with following them. Kasi, ewan ko, I think it's also just appreciation na parang, okay, I was happy to see you last night or last event, so I'm following you.
Alam mo,
Um,
madam, that's something that I noticed with the younger generation, especially like early 20s, teenage years. Kasi,
aha.
ewan ko, I feel like we're a little older. So, maybe we've grown out of that. But I've been noticing
Yeah.
that. Kasi, like the nature of my job, I meet a lot of younger people in the industry. And I noticed na a lot of people care about like how many followers you have versus how many you follow. Yung ratio ng, oh, I follow this person, do they follow me back?
Talaga?
Yes, that's a thing. And I'm sure like a lot of our listeners also fall in that category. Pero kasi, honestly, like
May
based
ganun
on
pala.
experience, oh madam, based on experience in this industry, I've learned that more than the ratio of your following and followers, what's more important is how you make people feel and how you feel from these people, like based on your interaction. So ako, like, so what if I follow 2,000 people? I've met 2,000 people in this industry. Ganun talaga.
Totoo.
And ano naman kung, like, they have less followers or whatever, they're not a creator. It's like, so what? Like, at the end of the day, what I really love about following people is that I get to remember them better because I'm honestly like so bad with names. I'm really, really bad with like remembering. My memory is really bad. But following them on Instagram, to be specific on Instagram, it's just easier because, okay, I remember, okay, last night I went to this event and then I met this person, that person, blah, blah, blah. And I don't take that as an ego thing na, oh, I
Ako
need
din.
to, parang if you don't follow me, I won't follow you back or whatever. Parang, di ko na siya masyado iniisip because like, I don't, like, wala tayong space for that. And at the
Sayang
end
sa
of the
brain
day,
cells.
sayang sa brain cells and sayang sa opportunity to make a connection with
Correct.
people. And
Correct.
and sometimes we do forget. Sometimes we do get overwhelmed. We're caught at a bad time. But at the end of the day, it's really not that important to have that ratio. So just a gentle reminder to especially our younger or younger listeners na parang if this is something that you think about, because I know a lot of people think about this, your ratio na yun, like keeping the following under 1,000, ganyan. Like,
Ooh.
guys, it's so much more important to build those connections versus to seem like you have less of a care. Ano ba yan? Parang you have less care to give. Pero it's actually really nice to just connect. Like ako super,
Yeah.
I appreciate when I really, especially madam, when I was starting pa lang sa industry, I remember the people who treats me, I remember the people who treat me the same way when I was starting out versus now. Like the people who
Yeah.
never looked down on me for having less followers, whatever, I remember them. I remember how they made me feel. I remember how they treated me like an equal. And I will always remember that. So, kaya guys, wag niyo, like, wag kayo masyadong maging caught up in the numbers, caught up in like the reputation, whatever. Like, just get to know people, make those connections, and find those like-minded people who will bring value to your life and who you can be of value to as well. Kasi ang dami talaga, and it's so fulfilling. Like, it's so fulfilling to have these connections na parang, buti na lang, hindi ko masyado binigyan ng brain cells yung complication of like, who's gonna follow back? Who's gonna message who? It's just, you just make that connection and leave it at that.
Totoo. Sobrang, for me kasi, I feel like, life is really more than numbers. Life is more than your vanity metrics. Who likes your social media posts or who follows you or who you follow. Alam mo yun, parang there's more to life than that. There are real conversations. There are real relationships out there na parang sobrang fraction lang ng buhay natin yung social media. It doesn't really have to affect us. Alam mo yun? Parang we control our phones, not the other way around, my friends. We should be controlling social media, not social media controlling us. And yun nga, there's really more to life. I feel like staying present is also very important, especially with conversations like this. For example, yun nga, again, balik tayo dun sa mga crush natin, ganon. Parang, ask them out again on a date. Alam mo yun, parang okay, sige, na-continue mo na yung conversation sa social media. It's not bad na parang, okay, are you still game to maybe do another dinner? Ganyan, na parang, I really enjoy this conversation with you. Mga ganon. Kasi, if, ako talaga, naniniwala ako na if yung mga tao, nagkiklik lang talaga naturally. It doesn't need to take a lot of super duper hard efforts para lang magka-dinner kayo ulit.
Yeah,
Ayun,
and
kasi
hindi dapat mina-manipulate or mina-mastermind yung ganitong connection. It just happens.
Oo. Totoo. Saka huwag kayong mahiya. Huwag kayong mahiya. As an introvert ha, sinasabi ko na to, huwag kayong mahiya kasi tao lang din sila. Ano ngayon kung sobrang pogi nila. Kasi minsan intimidating yun sa atin. Pag sobrang yaman, sobrang pogi, alam mo yun. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, we breathe the same air.
They're just human. So, before we end this podcast, like some linyahan, iiwanan ko kayo ng konting lines na you can use. I mean, I know that this is really difficult for a lot of people to, like, what do I say? Ganyan. Pero guys, as a resident coach ng mga kaibigan ko at taga-text ng mga crush nila, ito yung mga lines na you can use. Okay, if you guys wanna ask somebody out, okay, one very simple but very suave line that you can use, when am I gonna see you again? Diba? Parang lang. Like, it's very casual. It's very cool. Like, hey, so when am I gonna see you again? And then you give them the opportunity to be like, they could either answer that like, oh, whenever you're free, like, are you free this, they can initiate. Or, pwede ring, oh, I'm not so sure. But pag nireply nila yun, then you have your answer na, okay, ay, hindi sila masyado interested. That's fine. Pero at least you put it out there, 'di ba? Na parang, okay, when am I gonna see you again? Parang lang, chill lang, like, lang, wala lang. Pero at the same time, you got your point across. Another one, I asked somebody out on a date, tapos I failed, madam. Nakwenta ko na ba to?
Paano?
Meron akong crush na crush. Kakahiya.
Failing? Charot. Dali.
Madam,
ano mo yan?
It's happened a lot. So, meron akong super duper crush. Friend siya ng friend ko. So, we have a mutual friend. Super guwapo. Well, actually, now that I think about it, hindi naman siya sobrang guwapo. Like, at that time, I was like, super guwapo. But then now, okay lang. Tao lang. Yun nga, like what I said, like, tao lang siya. Parang, okay lang. Kebs, kasi, ngayon na, I have Ako Bahala Guy. Like, I have eyes for no one. Pero, at that time, parang, I was like, crush ko siya before, pero ngayon, hindi na. Anyway, before, kasi he did a favor for me, like, he accommodated me, like, for this work thing that I needed to do. And then I was like, hey, like, thank you so much for your help. Like, let me get you coffee one of these days, ganyan.
Oh, okay.
So, syempre, di ba, like, let me get you coffee one of these days. And then he was just like so nonchalant about it. Parang hindi siya masyado excited sa idea ng coffee with me. And then ako, I took that, like you also need
Leap.
to be able to, take the leap and take hints. Na parang, if
Okay.
ayaw niya, if hindi siya masyado like enthusiastic about it, let it be. Like ako, pagka nakaramdam na ako na the one time na
Kebs.
I feel na hindi siya masyado into it, like, bye. Kasi, syempre guys, even though we do want to put ourselves out there, we still have our self-respect. So, at
Correct.
least know that boundary. Never, ako, my is, I don't want to have crushes on people who don't have a crush on me. Like, I don't want to have crush on you kung ayaw mo sa akin. So, I'll have a crush on you, tapos pag na-confirm ko na ayaw mo sa akin, di na kita crush. Kasi, bakit ka magkakagusto sa tao na walang interest sa'yo? Like, move on to the next one. I don't know. That's just my rule, madam. Like, that's just how I think it should be. Kasi sayang yung oras. Like, tao lang naman
Exactly.
sila.
I was
Eh.
about
Bakit
to say
ako...
that.
Diba? Like, bakit ako magsispend ng time and energy kung ayaw niya sa akin? Okay lang. Like, it's fine. It doesn't take away anything from me. But it will take away time if I linger on that. So, yes, guys. Again, a gentle reminder na not to put your crushes on a pedestal. Admire them. Make that move. Smile. Be happy. But if it's time to move on, move on. At the end of the day, crush lang yan.
Tsaka we get to call the shots.
Yeah, we get to
have
call
the
the
ability. We have the ability to call the shots, my friends.
Yes.
Ayan. Ang saya, madam. Ang dami kong natutunan as an introvert. Ang daming pa-tips.
Ma-apply mo rin, madam, sa mga
Oo nga.
professional relationships.
Iyon, ganon talaga. Definitely. And mga madam, if you guys have stories or tips to have a hashtag closer Christmas, let us know by tagging us at Camp Confidence Radio, at closeup.ph, and we want to hear your thoughts, mga madams. Ano ba yung mga tips na gagawin nyo sa mga in-enumerate namin kanina? And of course, don't forget to watch Close-Up's Closer Christmas video on Close-Up's social media pages to remind everyone to celebrate a hashtag Closer Christmas.
Thank you so much,
salamat.
mga madam. Yes, thank you so much for listening to this episode. And we hope that you have a very happy holiday this season. And sana lahat kayo ay successful sa inyong Closer Christmas. Thanks, mga madam!
Thank you. Rate us minimum 5 stars.
Thank you so
Love
much.
Madam. Bye.
Bye!